toxicity, quality of life, maybe time till they need whole brain. Does that make sense? Somebody up there had a question. Yes?
It's a little off the thing, but I want to ask Dr. Munoz, but we ran out of time.
Oh, then let's hold it to the end, okay? Okay, because I'm about there. Lesson 4. You can do randomized secondary metastasis prevention trials for other organs. So my dear friend Dan Theodorescu, he studies bladder cancer. Somebody needs to convert him to a breast cancer doc. Is a surgeon, and bladder cancer often gets liver mets. He is doing a trial, limited liver mets. He's resecting them. Again, these patients are at high risk to develop more liver mets. And so he is randomizing to the metastasis preventive versus not endpoint more liver mets. You see the idea? That you could do this, probably in a site-specific manner, but I'm not sure, to prevent the development of additional metastases. What I've shown you, I think, is data that says us people with mice think that we can prevent formation of metastases, formation of more metastases, to some extent, to some significant extent. But that these agents are going to fail in the trials the way we do them. We need to do things differently, people. The amount of money that goes to metastasis research is low, okay? Furthermore, most of the research that is funded, and I'm not just talking about NIH, I'm talking about DOD, I'm talking about ACS, Komen, all of it, is going to basic metastasis research. These are those elegant cell papers that say this gene does this, and in this, it looks like this, and it will never help any of us. So this needs to change. I can't make a change. I'm seen as part of the system, and I just want more. But you guys can get together and figure this one out. You can't read this, can you? This is the percentage. This is the infamous review that I wrote with Jonathan Sleeman 2 years ago. He's a German researcher. And he actually compiled the data. This is the percentage of funding from these various cancer agencies that goes to metastasis research. And it varies from, let's see, the Germans are sitting here at 4%. The UK at 2.9, somebody else in the UK at 5. Ooh, the Swiss are up to 11, Canada 6. These are lousy numbers. So the oncology community needs to do different trials. Why don't they? The way it's been put to me, and I don't know how many oncologists are in the audience, but you'll tell because they're going to start throwing tomatoes at me, is that a good career move for a budding oncologist is to do what everybody else has always done. You run the phase 1, the phase 2, the phase 3 trials, you go present at ASCO, and you have a career. These are large studies, the same old design, and you know, can you draw a pencil line between the survival curves? So to do something differently is really going to be a sea change around here. Finally, I need to recognize the group that has worked with me in the BrainMet project. If you have not signed on to www.brainmetsbc.org, you are missing a true national treasure. This is a website that has been put together by Musa Mayer, who does not have metastatic disease but has been a tireless advocate for metastatic patients, Helen Schiff, and the late Leila Romeo, who were my advocates on the Center of Excellence grant. We created this website. The last count I heard was a year ago. This site had 1 million hits. How did that happen? I mean, I'm glad, but I'm horrified that 1 million people wanted to visit this site. This is Musa, the late Leila Romeo, and Helen at one of our meetings. We were clearly after hours at that point. There are a few other advocates I really need to thank. They've helped me along the way. They are still working with me to give me good ideas. Maria Wetzel is in the audience. Put your hand up, darling. don't think Marlene McCarthy is in the audience, but she was the first advocate to say to me, "You're on the right track, Pat, keep going." And you don't know what that meant. Jenny Mason is in the audience. Put your hand up, darling. And we're working together to put inflammatory breast cancer models into some of this research. Amy Bonoff, I don't think, is in the audience, and she worked with me on a grant application. These are people from my lab that have been absolutely instrumental. Those of you who have taken Project Lead the last 5 years know Diane Palmieri. Bruno Grill and Jean-Claude Marshall have done a lot of the studies. In that brain met group, you know George Sledge, Andy Seidman. David Peerboom is a neuro-oncologist, and so he's helped me a lot on these brain met studies. And I worked with W Pharmaceuticals. I was funded by the NCI primarily. These are your tax dollars at work, with a DoD Center of Excellence grant. And also I received money from the Breast Cancer Stamp Fund. So thank you very much. Let's take questions. We're starting at 1.